Good evening. This is Walpole Conservation Commission meeting on Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. Public hearing, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth, Massachusetts Conservation Commission Land Disturbance Permit. In accordance with Walpole Stormwater Management Bylaw, hereby given the intent of Anthony Severisi Jr. to construct proposed restoration of 7,781 square feet of altered land and removing the retaining wall over 40,000 square feet of disturbance at 0 Sunset Drive, formerly Lot 789, Walpole, Mass., map 54, Lot 39, 40, 41. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office, room 212, Town Hall, 135 School Street, or www.walpole-ma.gov, Conservation Commission. Public hearing, above matter will be held Walpole Town Hall, FinCom Room, 135 School Street, September 10th, 2025, beginning at 7:15 p.m. All interested persons are requested to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued, and we have a email from the applicant requesting a continuance.
Yes, the email's from John Glosser today. This is a request to continue the hearing for 0 Sunset Drive until the commission's hearing on January 28th, 2026.
Okay, someone want to make a
I'll move
motion?
that.
What we have open?
It's all wide open.
Okay, so 7 o'clock on January 28th.
Yep, moved.
Got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. Okay. We have certificate of compliance for 16R Eldor Drive.
Yep, the 16 Eldor Drive, DEP 3151277, single-family house, which has been completed as to the order of conditions, and as-built was submitted. No alteration, bounds, and plaques are up. I did a site inspection with John Glosser on Tuesday. All set.
Okay, someone want to move that?
I'll move that.
Got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. On the agenda, there's a Hartshorn Road, and that is not ready for certificate of compliance yet. The other one is 16 Frontier Drive. Is that all set?
Yeah, that's all set. That's a pool and a patio, 3151280. They submitted an as-built plan, and I did an inspection on Tuesday, and everything is good.
Okay, someone move that?
I'll move it.
A second? All in favor?
Aye.
600. You have the forms to sign, and then we have a request for a change in the plan for the Allen Dam project. You want to fill us in, Landis?
Yes. So Alan, where's the letter there?
Here's the letter.
So Carl Waldorf, town engineer, submitted a letter, and I discussed this also with Carl, the area at Allen Pond Dam, which eventually the dam is gonna be reconstructed, and a fair amount of disturbance is gonna occur at the site, and they will need additional fill. So a few months back, I don't know, 6 months or something, a while back, they did an RDA to see if the commission would approve for some fill that was left over from the high school project to be left on site, to store on site until they needed the fill. Originally it was gonna go up top near the dam, which the commission approved as a negative determination. Now, after visiting with the consultant and conferring with the dam people, we want to move the fill a little further away from the dam, so were you gonna put the picture up there, or? Okay, working on it. So if you guys know Allen Pond Dam, you come off of Washington Street, and there's an access road, and then if you go to the right, there's a big open space and a meadow area. The fill would go all the way to the very end of that meadow area, where then again, there's a big ridge, a berm, and on the other side of the berm is a wetlands area. It's almost a natural bowl at this point, so the fill would be very nicely contained. It wouldn't be flowing off, they would still ring it with a erosion control where it wasn't lined, where the berm wasn't on the other sides. We could also ask them to seed it so that it's contained, doesn't flow, it doesn't go anywhere. And also, there's a concern that potentially, if you have a dry, open area there, that invasives could seed. We don't want that either, and it's temporary. But I went out there, and I think it's a much better spot than where they were proposing before, which was closer to the pond, closer to the wetlands, closer to the area where we're considering doing wetlands restoration. This is kind of out of the way where they can access it when needed.
Okay.
There are pictures if you want to see those.
Any questions, Jessica?
None.
Haley?
No questions?
Neil? Al?
No, no question.
Betsy?
So they want to stabilize it, but then after they remove it, they want to seed it? Yes? In other words, a stable pile, but then once they remove it, they should seed it, yeah.
Into the letter as well.
Because, yeah,
Right, because you don't want to bare open space
No.
afterwards either.
Need a vote?
Oh, yes.
I
Yeah,
move
someone-
that we approve the
Second.
new location.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
600. Okay. Do we need to sign anything for that, or is that?
No.
Yeah, good. Okay. This is at the 705. Pinnacle.
Yep. It is right here. So, all you do
I'll
is
trade.
do this.
Public hearing, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Conservation Commission Notice of Intent. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw, notice hereby given the intent of Louis Petrozzi, Wall Street Development Corp. to construct 15 proposed single-family homes with driveway, stormwater management, utilities, and site grading located at 9 Pinnacle Drive, map 19, lot 183, 184, 183-2, and 183-3, within wetland resource areas, including 200 feet of the Neponset River. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission Office, Room 212, 135 School Street, or at www.walpole-ma.gov Conservation Commission. Public hearing in the above matter will be held in person, Walpole Town Hall, FinCom Room, 135 School Street, April 9th, 2025, at 7:30 PM. All interested persons requested to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued. Couple of things first. Anyone who's speaking, please speak into the microphone so it is picked up for those who may be watching. The way we're going to proceed on this is we'll have Stacy Minahan from Beals and Thomas will review the report that was made on October 2nd, so for the commission to get up to speed on that report. Just would make a note that there was a Zoom meeting was held, I think it might have been November 13th, with Beals and Thomas, Paul McManus from Ecotech, John Glassa, Landis, and I also watched. And that was a review of the letter from, of their Beals and Thomas, October 2nd letter. So Beals and Thomas will now summarize that for the commission. After that, there are a couple things that we will review for the applicant, and then we will proceed with the applicant to do. I would suggest that, make it known that let the speaker finish speaking, and if you have questions, you can hold them till afterwards, and then to be addressed. Okay? Stacy?
All right, Stacy Minahan with Beals and Thomas. As I'm going through, if you have questions, certainly feel free to ask. I'm not going to go through every nitty-gritty detail, but if you'd like more detail on anything, please let me know. So we had issued a comment letter in early October and received responses in early to mid-November, and then had a technical meeting, as was noted, to review kind of the responses that we had received and what remained outstanding. So in general, our comments spanned issues relating to wetlands impacts and stormwater. We did have, excuse me, some field delineation changes which have been incorporated, and so those are addressed. That's sort of the start of our comment letter. We had some comments about the ability to potentially avoid BVW impacts. As the plan stands now, Building 15 is located within BVW. We had some clarifying comments on the wetland impacts and replication proposed. There were some discrepancies in the numbers provided. We talked about each item that I'm noting, we talked about during the technical meeting, and understand it's being addressed as well, including submitting a new Wetlands Protection Act Form 3. Two of the more notable items relate to the historic mill complex limits and the previously developed riverfront area limits. So we discussed asking the applicant's representatives to provide some mapping and additional details so that we can review what's being considered previously disturbed riverfront area. That was our comment 10. Just going through for the main items. Like I said, there were a number of stormwater comments that either the applicant addressed in their responses, or if they weren't addressed, then we discussed them and understand they are being addressed. There was discussion about managing invasive species on the property as part of the mitigation suite, which I understand some information will be forthcoming about that management plan. A variance request was submitted that does rely on information about the previously disturbed extents, and so I think that forthcoming information will inform that evaluation by the commission as well. And then starting on page 11, number 22, it's really kind of detailed stormwater comments that are being addressed, and we're awaiting supplemental information to confirm that they have been. Just give me one moment to run through and see if there was anything else that I wanted to note. There was also some discussion, it was not in our comment letter, but during the technical review meeting, about verifying that the existing storm scepters are present and functioning in the vicinity of the project. And that was it. I know that was very brief. There's a lot of detail in there. But I would say from my perspective, other than the technical design stormwater comments, which is typical to have a fair number of stormwater comments in a review, the notable items are the riverfront area, extensive previously disturbed riverfront area, documentation of that in the historic mill complex, and then avoidance of wetland impacts and associated mitigation. There's also been a fair amount of discussion about the riverfront area extents, the medial high water delineation. There's a history on this site with a ORAD and a superseding ORAD that had a different delineation than what is current and what Beals and Thomas reviewed, so I'm happy to talk through that as well.
Okay. Have you received a response, official response from the applicant? Both John Glossa and Paul McManus were going to address a number of issues that hadn't been resolved. Have you received?
We have not received a second supplemental. So we received an initial response to comments on November 8th. Then we subsequently had the meeting with Paul and John and understand that there's another response with revisions forthcoming.
Okay, so that's coming, okay. With respect to some of the questions, I think the first issue is the EW line of flagging from the EW line, which was done from the the current level at Bird Pond. And I'd just like to address that, that wetland line is really not pertinent because it is, if you look at section 10.53, parentheses 3, parentheses I, that addresses situation with, when there's a dam under repair. It says, partially quoting here, when water levels are drawn down for maintenance, repair, or improvement of dams, the water levels that exist immediately prior to such projects being undertaken shall be restored upon completion of the work. Further, unless and until dam safety decides that what the permanent solution will be, that essentially the former levels of Bird Pond are applicable to this filing. So we won't really get into discussion on that EW line because it really isn't pertinent. One other issue. The applicant requested that we waive the no disturb line on several, the 25-foot no disturb line. And I think we should address that issue so the applicant knows what their standing is regarding that. So I think, have we got that area? There's one other issue which kind of fits into this is you were requesting a fill.
Just a minute before you go forward, if I could just clarify, I think you meant to say the EW line being the mean annual high mark of the pond.
Right.
You said wetlands
Oh.
line, so
That,
saw a little
right.
discussion going on there too. Want to just
Okay, yeah,
make
let's
sure,
stand-
there's two lines that were
Right.
renewed. One was the wetlands line and one is the EW, which is the mean annual high.
Stand
quantity.
corrected.
Yes, okay.
So there's several, the other area was your request to fill, I think it's around building 15, so we can address that as well, so you know where things go. I think there's a
Mr. Chairman,
substantial,
I think I can help cut to the chase on that one. We're looking at and hope to revise the plan to eliminate that proposed BVW fill at building 15.
At
So there would
building
be, so there
15,
would be
okay.
no BVW fill. You don't have that, Beals and Thomas doesn't have that yet,
okay,
but that is the intent.
well, it kind of fits into the other discussion regarding your request for a waiver of the 25-foot no disturb line. Do we have, okay, looking at sheet number 7,
7?
and there's another sheet. Which one is that? Number 6 and 7 shows the
Is it
line
7
is
and
which
8?
here? The dash line,
Is it 7 and 8? Not 6 and
it's
7.
6 and 7.
6 and 7 is what it said.
This, the line in yellow is, what is that? Okay, there's a line that has one long dash and 2 short dashes. And you can see, if we'll start on sheet 6, it starts to the left side of the drawing. Does everybody see that? It's the long dash and 2 short dashes. Is a 25-foot no disturb line.
This is sheet 14, which is,
Oh.
if you look at sheet 14,
Is that what the light, the green line is on your plan, or?
let me just go through quickly, just so. So, the blue, the green, the high water, and the blue.
What sheet are you on?
This is 14. Blue is the EW flag, David Wise, over flag on the school, that's what you refer to as the pond level. The green is the line of the BBW. This is your 100-foot inner riparian. Yellow is the 100-foot buffer. I didn't mark out the 25-foot buffer zone, but if you look just above the green line, you'll see double dash line that runs parallel to the wetland line. That is your 25-foot no disturb.
Right.
We've asked for a variance from that regulation, or that policy that's in your regulations regarding that line, because it's our feeling that it's substantially degraded, it's not in its natural state. That's the line, but if you see, if you follow that line across, there aren't any buildings within that line.
What sheet is that?
This is sheet 14, 13 and 14. This is 13, and the other sheet is 14. So, you folks have all been out there, you know that half of the 25-foot line is in the historical complex section. The other half is outside, but it's significantly affected by invasive species and other things that, in our view, we can enhance to do a better job than we do presently. I will say, if you, this is the pink area that we were, was intended as filling of BBW, and the orange is the replication area. But after talking with this, we think we can shift some of these buildings around and end up with a different configuration at the end of the cul-de-sac, and then not affect any BBW filling, so that's in the
So
process.
the only building that would change is building number 15.
Well, the configuration or the orientation of that, one of those buildings would have to go. We don't know which one.
My point is, if you're making other changes, we need to know what they are in order to address your request for a waiver.
Well, absolutely, I agree. Yeah, well, it's unfortunately, there's a lot of things going on, and some holidays and things, and people go on vacation, and so we don't get it. But we are, from the standpoint of the technical review meeting, we are taking those comments in, and we're trying to revise the plan to address the comments that have been raised.
Okay, I have,
So in that particular case, we would be doing something in that area to address that particular item, which is the filling, the BBW filling. And then this dark line that you see across is the 100-year flood elevation. Now, I know you think that the level of Bird Pond is a temporary thing, but it really isn't, and so I think you'll be hearing more from the dam people shortly.
okay, that issue is, right now, that's settled until
Yeah,
dam safety
what we're
decides
doing
otherwise.
isn't affected by that anyways, I mean, it really doesn't affect what we're doing. We're not going in the pond, and we're not even close to being in the pond, so it's just the level that we flagged out, because it's a level of the resource area that was previously flagged by the preceding
Go ahead.
INRAD.
The point is, what is your request for a waiver on the 25-foot no disturb? And what you're saying now is that building 15 will not be where it's shown now. That'll-
Right, but that waiver is not simply just for 15. That
That's
waiver is for
correct,
the
that's what,
entire
that's my
stretch.
point.
Right.
what else are you changing besides just, we're gonna remove 15, or you're gonna shift things around along the whole subdivision?
There's still gonna be 15 buildings, there's gonna be shifted.
Okay.
And apparently, when they did the revision with the, there's room here, and because the 100-year flood elevation now was at 104 before, now it's at 102.4, it's given us a lot more room that we could orient the buildings in a different direction and squeeze one more in and eliminate one in another location.
Okay, as I just said, if you're basing your layout on the present level of Bird Pond, that is not acceptable at this point. We have, until dam safety says otherwise, it is clear in the regulations that it'll go, we should refer back to the original level for Bird Pond.
Okay, all I'm saying is, we're not disagreeing with you. We're saying that we're not interfering with the pond level, even if it were in its
Okay,
previous
but it gets
location.
back to the 25-foot no disturb line. Where is that, if you're gonna be moving buildings,
The 25-foot disturb policy extends from the BVW, not from the pond elevation.
I'm aware of that. You said you're gonna make changes to the
Yeah.
layout,
Yeah,
okay?
you'll see
So
that
how-
in the next revision, Pierre. Obviously, I don't,
Okay, I don't think we can make a decision on your request for a waiver for the 25-foot no disturb until we see what your revisions are.
understood. I think the purpose of this meeting, because it's been a while since we had the peer review proposal, the peer review submittal, we haven't met since that time because there was only one meeting in November, there's only one meeting in December, so we're sort of trying to catch the commission up to speed on what's transpired since.
Okay, so you're gonna be providing us with revised,
You're gonna have a,
revised
you're gonna have a
plan.
revised set of plans for the next meeting.
Okay.
Prior to the, 2 weeks.
And
so
if
that
you're
it
gonna
can get
do
reviewed.
that, we need them
Well,
ahead of time, and also to get time for us to review and for Spiels and Thomas to
yeah,
review.
understood. We're working on it.
Can I
Yeah.
interject something? So, the original boundary of the pond is the P-series, which you've taken off the plan.
Right, I understand. And you're asking us to put it back on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because that's where the riverfront area should be measured from, and depending on if it's, I mean, if you have your BVW below the level of the pond, so the BVW is underwater.
I don't think the BVW is below the pond level, even as it is today. The BVW is the BVW from, it's pretty close to whatever the line was before. It's very, might vary a little bit, but it's not gonna vary, it's not gonna affect where the elevation of the pond is versus the BVW line.
Yeah, I think that you need to put the P-series back on, because based on the.
This is the first time we're hearing about it, though.
Based on the ORAD and the SORAD, and then the final decision, they upheld that P-series is the boundary of the pond. The pond is the boundary of the river, so that needs to be put back on the plan.
Fine, we'll put that on there. In fact, we had it on the plan, and you asked us to take it off, so now we're putting it back on.
He asked you to take it off. I think you replaced it with something else. I don't think
Okay,
anyone asked you
I
to
think,
take it off.
didn't John Glosser present those plans, give you those plans recently, the other day? With the,
We have not, no, I haven't received anything new, no.
he sent, I got a copy of the email that he sent you, you asked him for plans showing you didn't get those?
No, I did not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's the problem with email. That's why we really prefer really final submitted plans should come in hard copy, because sometimes people submit plans and they're too large. If they're too
Right,
large,
yeah.
nobody gets them, and nobody knows.
I'll drop those off, because I got a
It
copy
should be
of,
on your set.
agreed, but this set was submitted, and then you asked for those plans, and I was under the impression, that he had submitted to you, because I got a copy of them.
Okay, great. We're all on the same page right now, it seems like. So let's move
Okay.
forward.
So those are the things that we're gonna be doing. But obviously, I think there's other things happening with the Department of Recreation or whatever, that's gonna, by the time this transpires, I would think there's gonna be other things happening relative to the pond. And as you probably know, that we own the pond, so we're, involved with whatever the level's gonna be, not necessarily
All right,
has anything to do with the town, per se.
okay, so we'll hold off any
Yeah.
further discussion on your request for a waiver.
Yeah, well,
until we see
keeping
the
in
revised
mind, the
plan.
waiver takes us all the way from the beginning here, which is in the river, all of this area in here is all degraded, there's foundations and other things in here, so, I mean, there's areas of this plan and this property that are significantly degraded that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see whether or not a waiver would be in order, because it's not in its natural state.
We'll address that. then
Okay,
when you
what else
give us it.
do we want to go
Do
over?
you have anything else you want to present?
I mean,
Chairman, I would just suggest that at the time of, if you want to revisit the 25-foot no alteration area, that they mark out the specific areas at the site that they consider to be, that they want a waiver.
Right, well, we're looking at the whole site. 25 feet all the way straight down,
Everything.
everything.
Well, you're not proposing to alter the whole 25.
No, but I think that the whole 25-foot area needs treatment. It's full of invasives and it's.
Well, a waiver means that you can, there's no 25-foot no alteration area.
No, well.
There's a big difference there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not thinking that I think it would be something similar to that we did with, down on Burns Avenue, would be a restoration-type proposal within that 25-foot, make it significantly better than what it is today.
Then I suggest the commission, before giving any waiver to any of the 25-foot no alteration area, that the applicant submit exactly the restitution that he's gonna do.
And
I
we,
think you need to give him some guidelines at this point, even if you don't know the whole area, but what you're thinking with 25-foot no alteration waivers.
and we understand that, and we're working on that. I'm working on it. But I want to make sure I have the final plans from John Glossa so that we know just what we're talking about specifically. But I understand that you need a detailed proposal that you don't have, Beals and Thomas doesn't have, but that you do need that. No, there's no question.
And it could be a restoration
okay.
plan, too. I mean,
Is
it
there
could-
anything else you want to cover tonight?
I'm sorry?
Is there anything else you want to cover tonight?
We're here to see you, Jack. I mean, I haven't been here in a few months. I don't want you to push me out real quick.
What else do you want to present?
Well, do you have any other comments? Do you want to address any comments that we're talking about in terms of?
No, I mean, with Beals and Thomas, we went through, we didn't consider any of their comments unreasonable. Many of them have already been addressed. The others we're working on.
Okay.
So, and that's really where, as Lou said,
Who's it gonna
I think it was
take?
Landis, yourself had said you thought it would be a good idea for us to come in, kind of update the commission, get feedback from the commission, because we hadn't been here for a while. We came in here knowing that we would be requesting an extension, a continuance, and that, we have work to do and submittals to make.
Chair, can I also make the suggestion, and Stacy maybe can chime in on this, as far as the degraded riverfront area. I didn't feel like there was enough information submitted for that. I was not present at any of the excavation times on site, nor was anybody else other than, I think, Carl. But Carl generally looks at soil for infiltration, not for degraded riverfront area. And it seems that the soil pits were just in a couple of different places. So I would like to see more information. I'm now going to refer to Stacy Minahan to see what Beals and Thomas feels they need to make that determination. Because the way I understand it, you're looking for the remaining lot to be deemed degraded riverfront area. Is that correct?
Okay.
Right, and Beals and Thomas have made the same request, and that's reasonable.
Can I make,
Well, I'd like to hear from Stacy first, if you don't mind.
Yep, so I think, as we talked about in the technical meeting, an exhibit mapping out where explicitly the various findings were of foundations or impervious areas or results of test pits tied to the previously developed standards of the Wetlands Protection Act, you know, lacking topsoil, impervious areas, et cetera, would be helpful, because what I'd like to do is look at that mapping then and the data that goes along with it and evaluate where the degraded is.
Mr. Chairman? So on the plan, I mean, we have all of the testing, the soil testing that's been done with the soil logs on the plan. Other than going back out there and redoing the testing, the information and the locations of each of the test pits is on the plan.
So it's beyond just the test pits, though, because those test pits only document kind of those specific areas. I'm guessing there are other, and Paul, I would look to you, areas that may qualify as degraded, like foundations or other things like that. And also, I would like it tied to, okay, I'm not looking at the test pits for infiltration, so I only care about the test pits in terms of, is there no topsoil? So it's almost like a mapping of, okay, yes, these test pits had no topsoil. These are the other degraded areas, and this is how they qualify. Usually, what I've seen and what we do is literally like a hatched exhibit, you know, an exhibit that hatches the areas of the riverfront area that you're reporting are degraded, so that we can review that detail.
Well, I think, if you look at the test pit logs, these test pits were all historic fill. What are we calling it?
Human transport.
Human transported material,
is John's
HTM.
term.
In all of these locations, that's what was there. So in our opinion, this was used as a dumping ground for material over and above the existing grid.
So that doesn't quite in and of itself meet the standard. The standard could be junkyard is one of the options, right? But then I would want to understand what in that human transported material is qualifying this area as a junkyard? Or is it lack of topsoil? You know, that information just hasn't been presented, really, beyond just saying it's
Okay,
disturbed.
we can provide that with, you know, chapter and verse.
Yeah, would like an exhibit linked to the standards in the act.
But in
Can I just remind the applicant, this is not a debate back and forth with the peer reviewer. This is a
sorry.
discussion with the Conservation Commission. So we would like the Conservation Commission, the peer reviewer talk to the Conservation
we have-
Commission, and then you can answer it back.
Okay,
All
fine.
right,
Ask
have you
your-
got, you understand what is requested?
I do.
Okay. Do you want to be present when this is done?
If they go out on site, yes, and I would also ask, does that include vegetation, large, mature trees sitting on the site? Do you take that, do you include that in your analysis?
Well, that's certainly
Having
part of the
topsoil.
reason that I've asked for more detail, because it's not apparent to me, based on the information that was provided and the site conditions, that the entire site qualifies as degraded. Historically, I have seen sites where it was historically legitimately used as a junkyard, and then large trees grew up over it. And I have seen those extracted as previously degraded, but the character of the trees is part of the reason why I'm saying, well, this isn't presently as disturbed as it obviously maybe once was historically. Just because something was disturbed at one point in time doesn't mean it still qualifies as degraded presently, because degraded from a regulatory perspective is different than disturbed. A site can be disturbed but not meet the riverfront area degraded provision. So we're just looking for that specificity for the record.
Okay, so you are aware what's needed, and you will let,
I understand the request.
okay.
I'm not-
And you will make arrangements so that, did you want to be present also? Stacy?
Well, and I don't.
Or someone from your
Yes, we
firm?
can certainly keep, I would ask that we be kept in the loop. I don't know that additional on-site work is necessary, depending on what information they have available. They very well may have what's needed, and it's just a matter of, you know, clarifying the test pit information, looking at kind of the overall site. So, you know, I defer to the applicant as to whether additional field work is needed. I don't know that it is.
Let me offer, Mr. Chairman, that at this point, I'm not planning that we would do more field work. If we do propose to do more field work, I will coordinate with Landis, who then can coordinate with Beals and Thomas.
Fine. Okay, so but you think you have enough information from your field work that you did that can meet the requirements?
Correct.
Okay,
And
All right,
and
well,
that,
take-
I
all right,
understand
you
that,
present-
the
we'll take a look.
presentation that I'm being asked to make.
okay. All right, then we can take a look at that, and then let you know if that's adequate,
Sure.
okay? Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to
What else?
cover tonight?
I don't think so. The BVW line, we did a little tweak based upon my walking it with Beals and Thomas. We did a little tweak down the bottom at one point, and then we extended up in the, what I'll call the back, because I simply hadn't gone far enough at that point, so we put out another half a dozen flags right then. So we have full concurrence there in terms of the position of the flags and the sufficiency of how far they went.
Okay,
So that issue, in my mind, that issue is taken care of.
okay,
I have a question, if you don't mind.
yes,
So, we're gonna give you a plan showing the previous pond flags, the P flags.
right.
We're not moving the wetland flags, we're not doing anything with the wetland flags.
As far as I know, the wetland flags, that's been reviewed, right? And that, the wetland flags are okay after the revisions that were made?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just
Yeah.
wanna make sure.
Yeah, we want the P series
P series, yes.
on there.
If-
And whatever other revisions you're making to the layout.
Yeah, we're gonna do, we're gonna do a lot.
And if I may clarify, Mr. Chair, I believe the intent, but I don't want to speak for the commission, is that the P series be added and the riverfront area taken from that P series instead of from the current EW series.
It's really it's minimal, but it's gonna change. So by the time we're done
Okay.
with this process, it'll be
Well,
official,
okay.
I'm sure.
Now, when can you have this information?
Well, we're thinking that,
Meeting is
January 14th, right?
January what? 13th? 14th? January 14th.
what's your schedule? You on vacation at all?
Just Christmas to New Year in there.
Okay. So the question is, on your, you have to provide the information regarding degraded riverfront. Glosser has to prepare a plan.
I think he's got the harder task.
Well, let's continue it to January 14th, and then if we don't have it, then we'll just
Okay,
push it
well,
out.
we need the information prior to the 14th. You're aware of that?
Understood,
Okay.
understood.
When do you need that? How soon
We
before the 14th?
we call it the first day of the year, right? 2 weeks ahead of time.
Yeah, during the time when you guys are gonna be busy with vacation and stuff like that, so it's,
Not me.
Well-
So it gives us 3 weeks, to compile this stuff, so I know they're working
All
on it.
has nothing to do
Yeah,
between the 23rd and the 1st, but,
okay.
I'm sorry?
okay, so
Are you,
Are you available?
if you get
Paul?
it
What-
to,
They're making a
what's the,
joke.
the peer review. So if they are planning to come back on January 14th, is that enough time for, when would you want the information to look over?
So it just depends on our schedule at any given time, but I would say at least a week is ideal. A little bit more is always nice, a little bit less, we can often make work. But a week ahead, now that said, I think that John Glossa has been working on this, you know, since we met on November 25th, so it's not as if it's tonight moving forward, so hopefully there's time, but 1 week minimum would be ideal.
well, let's just say we had that by January 6th? That's a Tuesday, so it's a week prior to the
That's
meeting.
almost a month away. So I'll be pushing them to get it to you, folks.
Okay. So we'll count on having that information by the 6th.
Yep.
Okay? Anybody in the commission have any questions at this point? Jessica?
This one, no.
Bailey?
Nope.
Medio? Al?
No,
Betsy?
No.
Okay, anyone in the audience have any questions or comments, please identify yourself for the record. Hearing none. We'll continue this until January 14th. Is that, this is 14th, right? 14th at what time? 7:05. So we'll make that a motion.
so moved.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, it was nice seeing
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next two are the modifications, which are now amendments.
Okay, this is Warwick Road. They're separate filings, aren't they?
Yes. You want to just announce that
Okay, which one is
the
which?
modifications are now being reviewed as
You
amendments.
go to those here. That's here. 1286. $12.86, okay. Public hearing notice, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission request to amend order of conditions. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act and Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice hereby given the intent of Wall Street Development. Request to amend order of conditions, DEP number 315-1286, for proposed grading on located 7 Wall Street, map 56, lot 106, and request to amend order of conditions, DEP number 315-1324, proposed redelineated of wetland flags located on Lot A of Warwick Road Extension. That's the next hearing, map 56, lot 89 and 90. Application plans may be viewed at Conservation Commission Office Room 212, 135 School Street, or www.walpole-ma.gov Conservation Commission. Public hearing above matter will be held in person, Walpole Town Hall, FinCom Room, 135 School Street, December 10th, 2025, at 7:08 PM. All interested persons requested to be present. Now, this is for,
I think we would do Warwick Road
this
extension
is
first.
1286. So this is the road extension. Go ahead. Representing the applicant?
Good evening, Lou Petrosi for Wall Street Development Corp. So the first request for amended order is for some grading along the, what's this called, the northerly edge of Warwick Road. Originally, there was proposed as an alternative of either a retaining wall or grading onto the private property. It wasn't clearly understood at the time that the work was going to be allowed from the homeowner, but we have since reached an agreement
The agreement?
Right here, but I'm not, I can let you read it, but I'm not gonna submit it.
Well, we shouldn't be holding this public hearing unless you have an agreement from the property owner
There's
to
an
hold a
agreement.
public hearing
Here's an agreement that says we have the,
from there. I don't
Okay.
think the chairman can. so-
it's just not appropriate for it to be public record, that's all.
Is it signed?
Yeah, of course it's signed.
Doesn't it have to be public record if we're having a public hearing?
Oh, well, he could have given me a letter of authorization without disclosing the agreement, but we have the agreement.
That's what we
Okay,
need.
this is an agreement
The record's,
between Wall Street Development and Stephen Kelly and Gene Kelly. We need this for the file, so,
okay, then keep it.
you know, I mean, we need something on record that says that this agreement exists,
Okay,
so it's okay.
sure.
Keep this? Okay.
Sure, why
So there
not?
is an agreement, just for the record, there is an agreement signed by Gene Kelly and Stephen Kelly and Lou Petrosi from Wall Street Development, dated 10th of December 2025. And I don't have to read the whole thing, but we'll just check and make sure it does what it says, that you're allowed to do what.
Essentially, if you look at the exhibit to that agreement, has a shaded area of where this grading line is, right in here on his property,
Okay.
to remove some trees that are,
Excuse me, Lou, do you mind if you turn
Sure.
that so we can all?
yeah. Let me get on this side. So if you see the grade lines that are in this location right here, you know, typically when you do grading, if you're covering up roots and things like that, the trees are gonna die anyways. But at the time we were going through the subdivision process and with the commission, we didn't have authorization to get that part of the order of conditions included. So now we're coming in for a modification with that agreement. We've reached an agreement to do some tree removal and grading on his property, as you see in the attached Exhibit 1, I think it's called, to that agreement.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, there's not expected to be any excavation. We're just cutting the trees down to their roots, or down to the stump, even with the ground. And whatever grading will happen will just be top of the stumps that are there and seeded.
Okay. All right. Landis?
Yeah, so with any amendment to a plan, we need the plan that is amended and the work that is to be amended. So it's a little hard to tell with a marked up, reduced sized plan. I think I emailed you asking, is this the same work that is represented on the plan that was approved under the order of conditions for
That-
Warwick Road Extension dated
June,
8/27/2024?
what's the revision date on that sheet 7 of that saying it's a,
You mean this teeny weeny sheet? Let me
that-
get my
it's-
magnifying
it's a
glass.
reduced copy. That's the sheet from the subdivision plan.
We need a
February
revised
26, 2025.
full-size sheet.
It says February 2025
Okay.
on this, this one. That's the one.
So the plan that you submitted with Warwick Road Extension was final revised 8/27/2024. And the
That's
commission.
24, that's February 2025.
Commission approved everything but the grading on 7 Wall Street
Correct.
because you didn't have approval.
Correct.
So do you want to revise that sheet, please, with,
I'm getting confused now. What sheet is that there?
We need a
date is
full
that?
size,
we need a
we need a
full-size
full
plan,
size
this
sheet.
isn't enough. This
You want
isn't enough.
14 pages of a
No,
new
just the
plan?
sheet.
You have sheet number,
7.
This is sheet 1 of 1, but this
Yeah.
is your,
Well, because I had them
February
do a,
20,
I had them do a separate plan just for this modification, so,
then where's the full-size sheet for this?
okay, is that okay with you, Linus? I'll get a full-size sheet and color it up for you.
That's my main
Okay.
point, is that the modification has to be
I'm
a
miss-
modification to the plan set.
I'm
And this isn't
misunderstanding
enough.
where we're going.
Because it's just, you've just marked a triangle, and there's grades below it, but it's a little hard to see. And actually, what you submitted with the agreement looks like a larger area. Where did that agreement go? Do you have it, or did I?
I'm happy to stake the area out before we do any removal.
You see on the plan.
But
Yeah,
in
these,
my opinion,
Yeah,
that,
so the triangle on
The
this
triangle.
agreement is different from the triangle on what you
Yeah,
submitted.
it's different.
yeah,
So what actually is your amendment? We need a real plan to scale with the proposed activity that you're amending.
okay,
That should be really clear.
why can't you make that a condition?
Oh, we can.
Okay, I'm happy to do
Not a
it.
condition, but we won't give the amendment until we get that.
Understood. I'm not asking for something for nothing.
okay.
I mean, you should know this. How many times have you done this? Do we usually take a little colored up?
Yeah, no, I asked Rob to do the thing for that sheet, and he gave it to me as one sheet, not as part of the subdivision plan. It's kind of like,
Well, yeah, we need the full
supplemental.
size, the point
Okay,
is,
fine.
okay?
I'll get you a
All right,
full-size
fine.
copy of that sheet,
Yeah,
and we'll put some limits on it. We might even put some erosion
The
control on it.
grading that you're doing on lot 7 and show the
Okay,
trees, or note there's 7 trees that are gonna be taken down, or.
right.
okay. We can approve this as waiting for the revised plan?
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
You have to
Okay.
do all of
Anybody have any questions? Jessica? Bailey?
Nope.
Al?
No,
That's it.
No,
Okay, any in the audience, questions or comments, please identify yourself for the record. Okay, hearing none. We'll close the hearing.
so moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. Okay, so we need a revised, we'll hold off paperwork until we get the revised drawing, okay?
I'll try and get that to you this week, by Monday,
2 copies, please.
too, full-size. Sarah, did you get that email?
Okay.
Terrible. We just have one more.
Yeah. This is the other one. Well, it's all in here, I think, all
Yeah,
the
it
same. Okay. Public hearing notice, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth, Massachusetts Conservation Commission request to amend the order conditions. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw, notice hereby given the intent, Wall Street Development request to amend the order conditions, DEP number 315-1324, proposed redelineation of wetland flags located at Lot A, Warwick Road Extension, map 56, Lot 89 and 90. Application plans may be viewed at Conservation Commission Office Room 212, 135 School Street, or www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing in the above matter will be held in person, the Walpole Town Hall, FinCom Room, 135 School Street, December 10th, 2025, 7:09 PM. All person requested to be present. Okay. So, what are you doing here? This goes in this one.
Oh, you ready, are you ready for me? I don't want to jump in if it's not my turn.
No.
So essentially, I don't know if you folks recall that when we did the NRAD on this lot, this wetland line, that there was a little bit of a disagreement, and we only got an ORAD for the delineation up to a certain point. I've asked Goddard Consultant to go back out there and revisit the line and go out there with Landis to get to an agreement of what the line is from, I guess, from this point back, and basically come back and amend the line if there is a line change. But This was the original line on the plan, but the commission only approved somewhere up here, right? I forget the flag number, but
It was K1.
yeah, somewhere in here. So essentially, I'm asking to come back in and review this portion of the line going out, just so that there's no disagreement later on. And that's really kind of the request for an amendment. I don't think we can resolve it today, because obviously Goddard and Landis have to go back out and agree on the final line.
Well, we need more information first, so
Okay,
she
well-
should do some transects of the area, additional DP.
Well, I'm just waiting for comments.
Huh?
I just need some comments to give to her to what to do, what you want.
Oh, I thought I sent an email. You didn't get that email?
I don't think so. A lot of
Sent it
emails
to you.
going missing these
Sent you
days.
2 emails, one
I
on
usually get your emails.
one on the extension and one on this, saying I want additional
Oh, is that the
data
one you
sheets.
sent last night?
No.
Or the other night?
No. Anyways, okay, so,
Okay.
yeah, additional data sheets, rather than spending 2 hours
Right,
out there
okay.
with her poking around, because it's a very complicated site, and I
Yeah.
don't think this is the right time of year either,
Well,
because,
it's not right now, and it was 3 months ago when we started
All
this.
right, just let Landis finish.
I think she was
it's
done.
not the right time of year to do this. It's
Okay.
very rocky, it was very hard to get an auger in because it's so rocky. There's hydrologic issues going on there, and that's why I wouldn't feel comfortable approving it during the ANRAD process.
Yeah.
There's-
No.
There's a stream which overflows. I think at that point, we were asking you to do a hydrologic study of the stream. And then there's also a fair amount of water that comes down from Boyden Estate in an area where there was wetlands were delineated during the Boyden Estates project, and then those wetlands lines were removed and never really reviewed. So, and they came over onto this property.
Well,
So there's a lot of different things to consider out there.
absolutely. Well, a couple of things. One is the rockiness is not going to change between now and whenever. It's rocky, it's rocky. I do understand that, I think this is something that the 2 experts have to go out there and agree on we're not looking for the square footage here. We just want to get a line that is established. The line that was done for Boyden Estates was done almost 15 years ago, so things change, as you know. So, but if you want to wait till the spring now, I guess that's all we can do. But I mean, to me, as long as there's no snow on the ground, you should be able to walk through there. The rocks are not going to go away. The rocks are the rocks. So putting an auger in the ground is not going to, that effort is not going to get diminished in any way. So it's really kind of vegetation, hydrology, inspection, observations on the site, and coming up with a line that you feel comfortable with.
That's why I would suggest spring.
Okay. Should-
Okay, so what, all right. Anybody have any questions, Jessica? Bailey?
Nope.
Medio? Al?
No.
Betsy?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
is that sort of very squared off line next to the proposed house?
This here was inside the area that was already
Is that
agreed
the, is
to.
that the?
This
where
is the
the-
limit of work.
Okay, and so, I think we did that limit of work in kind of a squared off way because of the questions about,
Yeah,
Wetland.
we
We
cut
were-
it off because I think the flag that was agreed to on the ANRAD is somewhere in here.
because we didn't want a commitment to that jagged line.
Yeah, I forget where, it's in this general area, but
So you want to revisit
I want to revisit from here back.
so that
So that if somebody-
so that there'll be then a new no alteration area.
No, essentially, if somebody buys this property, they want to know where their limits are, you know.
The no
At the
alteration.
no alteration, right? The rectangular line there?
This here is limit of work.
You know, the wetland bounds are further, what was that,
Oh, they're-
to the,
Yeah, they're up here,
They're along the 124.
yeah, they're further to the north.
right.
To
right. So
24 contour.
the line could change and those bounds would change.
Well, right now, those are the bounds that go with this property.
correct, but
Okay.
it's an amendment, so,
Okay.
or modification, whatever you're calling it.
Okay,
And that
so,
would, those things would change, that would be part of the amendment if we get a new line. So, if you want to continue this until April or May, I don't care.
okay.
This is
Betsy, do you
probably
have
not
anything
going
else?
anywhere.
That's it.
Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Please identify yourself for the record, hearing none.
This is the best audience
What
I've ever
would we
had.
do? Because you need time to get out there and then come up with an evaluation, so you want to look at April?
I'd say May.
May would be better, if
Yeah.
if he's interested, if
Okay.
he's agreed upon to May, let's do May. So first meeting in May?
Okay. It looks like that would be May 13th.
I'm guessing that's probably 7 o'clock.
We don't have anything else on for that? Okay, so someone make a motion to continue this till 7 o'clock on May 13th?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
All right, see you later, have a nice holiday.
You too.
Thank you.
Okay, that's your stuff.
You need to put something in.
I'll get you
I don't know, you had, any of these are mixed up.
Yeah,
Which,
I'm not sure which is which.
yeah, so you want to, I think,
Modification amendment, modification amendment, I just wanted to make sure.
okay.
Which one is this one? The extension. Oh, the amendment, okay.
Oh, this is, okay.
Right. And we did the COCs, right? They're all-
Um, Fourteen 46 Main Street, did we,
What's next?
I don't think we continued that, did we?
No, 1446 Main Street's
No, we have that,
happening right now.
oh, that's in here.
I've been waiting very patiently.
Oh, okay. Public hearing notice, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Conservation Commission notice of intent in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice here, given the intent of McNamara Holdings LLC to construct proposed relocation of precast concrete block retaining wall located at 1446 Main Street, map 40, lot 199 and 200, within the 100-foot buffer zone. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission Office, Room 212, 135 School Street, or at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing in the above matter will be held in person at Walpole Town Hall, FinCom Room, 135 School Street, December 10th, 2025, at 7:20 PM. All interested person requested to be present. Okay. Just use the microphone, please.
Hopefully this is a little bit more straightforward than the previous presentations. So this is Frank's, the garage facility.
Oh, microphone, turn it on.
He turned it off when he left.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go. Let's
Yeah,
start again.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Eric Wilhelmsen with CDW Consultants. I'm here with the applicant, Frank McNamara. This is his garage facility. Earlier in the year, he put up temporary concrete block walls and created storage bins for various landscape material, which some of it, I guess, is from the town millings and mulch and composting. Those were all established and put on top of his existing paved areas that was already present on the site. And after it was all in, at some point, somebody noticed he had done all this work. Somebody stopped by and said, you need to file a notice of intent. So here we are. We did an updated survey, flagged the wetlands, went through the site and looked at everything, and there's one area where he was within the 25-foot no alteration. That's shown right here in red. So the proposed work is to move that wall out of the no alteration zone, but keep the storage bins basically as is, other than sliding that one forward about 5 feet to get, or 5 feet outside of the no alteration zone, which allows them to also get behind it to clean it up a little bit. That's the site in a nutshell.
Okay. Landis?
So you might have remembered the site partly. This was, there was some truck washing that was occurring on this site, which I stopped, and then Mr. McNamara has now a tight tank inside the building, so he's a facility inside the building to wash the vehicles, so that was cleaned up nicely, so there's no more washing of vehicles outside. Also, in 2020, there was a notice of intent filed to demo the building and to construct some condo units for storage, which we've seen before, I think on South Street, something like that. That was never done, so this notice of intent came in to move the wall, and I did a site visit, and I think that's definitely a good idea. The other things I noticed is there's a lot, you have another plan, or you can't really see it from this plan, but you guys can see it with the plans in front of you. There's a big loam pile that's directly behind the building. So behind the building, there's concrete stacked wall, and then there's loam being stored between the building and the wall. And there is some of the materials overtopping the wall, so I wasn't too crazy about that, because it's overtopping into the 25-foot no alteration area. And then there's an area to the left of the building, which is being used to store salts, road salts.
Yeah, that's
And, yeah,
this one right here.
right. And I will say, it was covered, and that was good. The top was covered, the salts were covered and tightly compacted. But it did look like there was some leaching occurring at some point. Either the tarp wasn't secured properly, or it was old, or whatever, but because it was sitting right on the 25-foot no alteration area, it didn't have very far to go down a slope and then into a pond. So if it's possible to move that further away from the pond, I think that would be a better solution. I do have some pictures, if you want to pass them, that kind of show the first one. Here, I have two sets there. Shows the soil behind the building, the loam behind the building, and the leaching of the salt. So that was my main concern, really, was the loam, and any other loam or material that is stored on site, especially right up against the 25-foot no alteration area. It really shouldn't be stockpiled any higher than the blocks, because then it can potentially
Sure.
go over the blocks and go into the 25-foot and leached out into the pond. And I did notice from the aerial that it did look like on the side here where you want to move the wall, that at some point, some of the soil might have gone further down towards the pond, so
Okay.
those are my basic comments.
Okay.
I mean, I appreciate them coming forward. I think that was a really good thing, so I don't, I want to be positive here that the owner has been very positive at the site visit about what needs to be done. That's always a good thing.
And if I can just add, I wasn't aware, you know, I know ignorance to the rules is no excuse for breaking them, but the notice or the conditions that were put in place about the stockpiling of material were put in place with the proposed development back in 2020, which when that got shelved or taken off the table, I decided not to do it. I just automatically assumed that the conditions that were put in place with that development kind of were null and void as well. That, you know, it was not happening, so the conditions weren't part of it as well. But
Yeah, we have these landscape places all over town, and I think they're just always concerned when they are very close to a resource area that they can pose an issue.
yeah, and on this, the salt bin, I told you this morning, I actually had a dome shelter purchased, which I have, which coincidentally came in within a week or two of you coming out back in the springtime, but I decided then not to bother putting it up until we kind of figured out if I should or I shouldn't. So if I do seal off the unit or the bin in its current location, that dome shelter will keep all water out of the pile, hence, you know, leaching out won't be an issue.
Okay. Okay, we have, any questions, comments? Jessica? Bailey?
I think you mentioned that the salt stockpile is kind of in the left, and is that inside the 200-foot riverfront setback?
Yeah, it's in this right here, it's on an existing, an area of existing pavement, but yes, it's right here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Landis, it could be moved away, and I'd prefer it be outside of the riverfront setback, especially if it is
How,
continuing.
how
That would-
far?
Well, there's the other side.
It would be on the other side of your building, basically, as a convenient place. I mean, if you want to see it a little better
Yeah,
yourself.
just to get an idea of where.
So can I just clarify, I'm sorry,
No,
Bailey?
please.
As far as the riverfront area, now, this is a stream that goes into a pond.
Yeah,
So-
there's like a short section from the pond into a culvert, and they flagged it as riverfront. It's not very long.
So your botanist flagged the pond as
No,
a
no, no,
riverfront area?
There's the pond, and then there's a small channel that drains down to the culvert, and that small channel got flagged
So
as
the
the river.
green line is not the riverfront area?
No, this green line is the buffer zone.
Okay.
The riverfront is this here. I didn't
So
highlight
it's
it.
just a
yeah.
small portion of the
Yes.
site, as it should, yeah, sorry. Okay.
So Frank, she's saying keep it out of the riverfront, which, that's the riverfront line, so it would have to be somewhere on that side, probably.
Consideration.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a salt bin, it's seasonal, so it's not that big a deal to do, so as long as it's kind of
Yeah,
not where it is. If it were moved anywhere further this way, or it absolutely has to be outside this, sorry.
I mean, if it's the small little culvert river, you know, and it goes directly to that pond, any leaching from wherever it may come from is gonna get in that pond anyway, so I don't know if it's really, like, further away, the better. So if it's, from the pond and the little river, yeah.
Okay, so over potentially, yeah, I mean, this is the front of the building, so I can't do anything there, so it's kind of.
somewhere over there, right?
Here, or nothing, I guess. That's fine. Yeah, like I
Okay.
said, it's a seasonal thing. There's never large quantities in it, so yeah, it's not a big deal to do that.
Awesome, and also agree with Landis, stockpiling shouldn't go above your wall.
Okay.
It's right on the 25 in a sense, so I don't really see any need for plaques, but I don't know if other commissioners have thoughts on that. And then the restoration, what is like the plan for that area?
Primarily just to, pick up whatever has spilled over and, it's a very, that area is very covered in leaves and whatnot and brush.
Okay.
It's not like
Let
grass or anything like that, so they could just take and redistribute the leaves and throw it back and try to make it look like
Or
the
just-
rest of the area, yeah.
Just leave the leaves.
Yeah.
That's all, thank you.
Okay, Emilio?
Nothing, no thanks.
Al?
No.
Betsy?
No.
Okay, I think the only thing is you relocate, now, you relocate that salt storage, so it's further away. Bailey, do you have any problem with that, considering this small river?
Yeah, no problem if he moves it to that
Just
further
move
bay
it.
and it's inside the 200. It honestly looks like that's the furthest away from the pond, from the property perspective. So no problems, no issues.
Okay, and then your salt storage should be enclosed, should be covered and
Yeah,
tight,
I have
so we
a-
don't get the infant water coming in. And preferably some means that it doesn't get spilled out as you're using it or loading. Assume you load trucks with that,
Yeah, correct.
that it stays in the truck and not get
Yep.
dumped out on the rest, on this, is that pavement there?
Yeah. I mean, I own a street sweeper as well, so I make a conscious effort a couple of times a week to actually sweep the property just because it's so visible and on the main road.
You,
Yeah, I think my suggestion was just to have the salt pile 50 feet from the pond. You know, it's in a good spot because of the grading where it is, but it's just if it could be moved a little further away, I think that would be beneficial.
okay.
The 50
What
feet,
you should do is let Landis know where you're gonna do that, and then mark it, that's for the salt.
So are we moving it out of the riverfront or just 50 feet?
I don't think it has to be moved out of the riverfront, honestly, because
Just
the
it-
riverfront area is a paved area anyways. I think the most important thing is to move it a little further away from the pond.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
just,
mean, it's pretty easy for me to,
Yeah,
move it
if you
into
could
that
move it over there,
area,
as
do
long
something
as
there.
it's, yeah,
And like I said, it's nothing in the pictures. that
yeah,
way.
and then put your dome on
Dome.
up there.
Yeah.
Don't overfill it, and it should be fine.
Yeah, okay.
So you need to revise your drawing and show that, so we know where it is. Okay. Okay, no one in the audience
And then
for
you're just gonna
comments?
move the wall up forward and then rake it out and distribute leaf litter.
yeah, we'll add some notes to that effect, yeah, make it clear.
Anything else? Okay. So we'll make a motion to close the hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600. So we want the order to include the revised plan to show the relocation for the salt storage and the salt storage area to be enclosed. And any spillage from that would be cleaned up, if there is any, when trucks are filled.
And then
Anything else?
no material should be stockpiled above the containment block.
Anything else? Do we have anything else? Okay. So we'll make that a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we've got something else to sign. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hope you enjoyed your evening.
So if you just get the revised plan to us, we can process the order of conditions, we get it out to you. Should it be sent to wish the order be sent, or do you want to pick it up?
I can pick it up, yeah, or whatever is easiest, or it can be.
I mean, it's gotta get recorded and whatnot, so maybe you want to pick it up.
Whoever's recording it to pick it up,
Okay.
or we send it to you.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there a timeline on when?
No,
I-
you can just let us know so we know where it goes. We just want to make
Right,
sure
but
that the
In
original.
relation to doing the actual work, is there a timeline? Is it kind of, do I have
Yeah,
the time to do it, or is it something?
it's a
that-
3-year permit.
Oh.
The notice,
Ah, yeah, no, it'll be done in a couple of months.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
should be done as, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll do it over
Yeah.
this winter, assuming the weather kind of
but
cooperates.
definitely we'd prefer that salt to be moved further away and covered. That's
Right,
the main
okay,
issue
okay, I'll
is,
work on that
getting
first.
that.
Okay.
Did you
Okay,
vote that? Did you vote the order? Yeah, okay.
oh, yeah, it's
Sign the
on its
order?
way, it's on its way.
Okay, right now.
Okay, we have minutes from, what was that, November something or other? November 12th? Okay, someone want to move the minutes from November 12th?
I'll move them.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain. So it's 501. Okay, we got your report. The tree removal, you wanted to work on some more?
Well, we just thought we were gonna run out of time, but we might have time.
What do you want to do?
You guys, you want to talk about it tonight, or?
You wanna maybe summarize it in, a couple minutes?
What did we do
Or-
with
or-
that? Tree removal, we did something.
There's too much paper. Where?
Where is it?
Well, you can share this one if you want. This is the tree removal.
I had it someplace.
I wasn't totally prepared, so.
Well, if you don't want to, then don't.
We can do it another, we can
Well,
do it another time?
We can do it another time. if
All right,
you-
let's do it another time.
We'll
Yeah,
do it another time.
all right, so then we will just make a
Take-
note that
yeah,
tree
Take a
removal.
look at it, you all got copies, so take a
Yeah.
look at it again and make
Yeah.
comments for next meeting while we do that. It's something that, I would like to put in place, even if we have, wiggle room depending on the situation, but, I would rather have a baseline to tell people when they're asking for these tree removals.
Okay,
Okay?
so we want to review.
And just as far as correspondence, this is so Eversource sent us a notice that they will be starting to do some clearing, maintenance, vegetative maintenance activity on the right-of-way, starting in January. Do that, and Betsy, this is the EPA, if you wanna look at that, you wanna look at that, the EPA report on the testing at
Oh, yeah.
Plimpton Pond.
Yeah. You want to explain what that was about, though? Because you explained it to me this afternoon.
So EPA contacted me, quite a while ago and, is a part of the Blackburn and Union site cleanup, which is a hazardous waste Superfund site on South Street the cleanup's been going on for quite a long time. They were doing tests, some soil testing along the Neponset down by Plimpton Pond to see if there was any contaminants, mostly asbestos, that had made its way all the way down there, and they didn't find anything.
Good.
They check anything else, or that's all they were looking for?
It looks like that's all they were looking,
Because I think that was the main contaminant on site.
yeah.
And they didn't find any,
They didn't find any. no.
okay? Plimpton Pond is conservation property, for those who aren't aware.
Right, and it's right below Bird Pond, popped up.
That'd be interesting. Okay. Anything new on South Street? Did they do what they're supposed to?
Still haven't received the as-built plan, even though there's been correspondence with the engineer as to what they need to submit. We haven't received it yet.
Okay, 'cause they were supposed to get some vegetation in by the end of October, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a little miscommunication as to what they were supposed to, the additional vegetation that they were gonna plant, because the special conditions wasn't attached to their order, but I supplied them with it later on, so they're gonna address that with the request for COC. They need to do additional plantings in the spring, I'm
Okay.
sure they will.
All right. I don't see anything else. No, conservation properties, nothing new on the North Street.
No, nothing new on North Street, just, it's not conservation land, but from Memorial Pond, so tomorrow morning, Waters and Wetlands are gonna come out and then, go along the Memorial Pond on either side of the dam, from the dam to the dock, and then on the other side, and cut the invasives. There's bittersweet and there's buckthorn, so they'll cut that and they'll paint it, and then they'll rake out, the dead and dying cattails that are out there. And then DPW may come in later, once they have the opportunity, and scoop some more of the cattail base seed out. And that's just along the dam, so it's not a huge area, but it's just a little area where it's cleaner, and it really falls under maintenance of the dam, because that's part of the dam, and really the dam itself should be clear of vegetation.
So it's dam maintenance and not
It's
invasives?
Dam maintenance and invasive species
Well, no,
maintenance.
no,
so-
cattails are not invasive.
I know, that part is dam maintenance.
That damn maintenance.
Damn.
Yeah, and then later on, there was capital budget to do repointing at the dam, because if you go out there, you can see there's a lot of seepage that's coming through the horseshoe. There is money that was approved through capital to go in there and point it. And hopefully hopefully they'll get at least started the bid process, before our town engineer retires, which he will be retiring.
He is?
Yeah.
Whoa,
Like how soon? Tomorrow?
yeah, when is it?
I know this is public because he's said it all the time. My understanding is by the end of January, but I think he'll be available for a while after that for consultation, but yes.
Cool.
Good for him. Okay,
We will be sad to see him go,
yeah.
but happy for him.
Very good. How long has he been doing it for? A long time?
He's been a town engineer for a long time. Yeah, he was here, he was here in Walpole, like, right before I came on board in 2002. And then he went to
I don't know where he went.
Westford or one of the W's for a while, and then he came back.
Uh-huh. Very good.
So they can't repoint in the winter, can they?
Okay.
Oh, damn.
Well, good question. I don't know. Because of the concrete. I don't know. I can't answer that.
It's gotta be a special waterproof concrete, too.
Well,
Chewing gum.
they need to dam it and have a dry area and then point it.
Yeah, okay.
That'll be interesting.
That's it.
Anybody, anything else? Okay, you
Want to
ready?
move to adjourn?
I, so moved. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.